Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next webinar in our digital thread series, Purchasing and Procurement. My name is Michael Wimberly, and I will be conducting this webinar. As usual, we'll go through and do a general introduction of myself and PDSVISION. We'll also go in and give a topic overview, which is of digital thread itself, and then discuss purchasing and procurement and how they fit into the digital thread picture. As mentioned before, my name is Michael Wimberly. I've been working with PDSVISION now for over 10 years, and I've been working with PTC products for over 25 years now. I'm also a certified trainer and implementer of both Creo and Windchill softwares. PDSVISION is a global company. We are formerly Boundary Systems as well as formerly Sconce. We are a technology leader. We are the first PTC global reseller and preferred service provider. Our software solutions, and we are software solutions developers and designed for manufacturing. So once again, our footprint has grown. So we are across the United States, and as you can see, we are in South Africa, we're in Europe, we're in the Middle East. So we have a large footprint as far as where we have resources available to assist you. So for all those that are global companies, we can properly support global companies as well. Some of our capabilities, of course, we are consulting, implementation services, professional training, cloud services, as well as our technical service help desk. Some of the partners that we have, of course, are PTC, Tacton, Modex 3D, Xformation, eTrage, Sigmaxim, ZWCAD, Keyshot, ITI, as well as Cimerix. Looking at all those, if you're looking for a 2D software, we can do that. If you're looking at license monitoring, we can do that. I'm sorry, 2D software being ZWCAD, license monitoring being Xformation, Modex 3D, of course, for mode design, Keyshot for graphics, as far as creating the images and everything that you see that you may go in and put on your websites. So we can do that as well, or we have the ability to do all of that. The digital thread concept. The digital thread concept as a whole just kind of brings in the different areas of your company and basically stitches them together digitally. For example, the inner circle being the product virtualization. So you have your actual CAD software, simulation software, even the CAD data management piece of it, doc management, requirements, and any technical publications. All those things basically can connect to each other. But even from there, now we can step out a little bit and do BOM management. We can do BOM management through our PLM system or data management system. We can do it directly from CAD. Change management through our PLM system, part classifications, so on and so forth. Then stepping out from there, we can now go into digital manufacturing, ERP integration, model-based definition, additive manufacturing. So for those that do rapid prototyping and things like that, additive manufacturing, 3D manufacturing, all of that. And then of course, even step out one level further out, IoT, Internet of Things. That's becoming a big push. We actually have some great things going on with some IoT functionality, so stay tuned for that. Cybersecurity, we're very high on that. Cloud, so we have a lot with our cloud computing. So we actually host cloud for Windchill customers. So if that's something you're interested in, we can assist with that, as well as other things. Of course, when we also have the augmented reality, so we can help out with that. So what you see is that from each one of these things, even if you go all the way out to augmented reality, well, that is from our CAD design that we've gone in and now brought into BOM management, change management, into our 3D manufacturing, all the way out to augmented reality. So these rings represent different areas of your company, but through digital thread, they're all kind of stitched together. All right, so if you've watched our previous digital thread series, then you've seen this card before. This is what our digital thread is based off of, is going in and showing how different areas of this car can basically be linked together through all the different departments within a company. So what we've done up to this part, we've done our first video, which was the R&D and industrial design piece of it. Then we've gone into engineering design. We've stepped into prototyping, manufacturing. The one that I'm currently doing or going to do is purchasing and procurement. After that, we get into production manufacturing. We get into quality after that, technical publications, and then field service and aftermarket. So each one of those videos, so the first 4 are already done. So if you have not watched those, I do recommend going to our YouTube page. So if you go to PDSVISION, you can actually go through and find those digital thread videos. This video that I'm doing now will also be posted on there. And then up during the subsequent months, February, March, April, and May, we'll be doing the last 4 videos of this series. So once again, stay tuned to those as well. And once again, we'll see how this digital thread brings all these different areas together. So purchasing and procurement. What's important for those? Of course, BOM information. You always want to be able to go in and find that information. How's it being created? Is it make or buy? Vendor information if it's known, costing if it's known. And even more important, before you do any of that, how do you find the information? Well, that's actually what we're going to go in and do now, is go in to Windchill and find information, and then find the information that we need from above. So let's go ahead and start that. All right, so the first thing that I want to do, is I want to go through and I want to search for a file. Now, what I'm looking for can be a CAD file, it can be what we refer to as a WT part file, it can even be a document, whatever it is that you're looking for. So what I'm looking for is a file that has seat in it. I don't remember the full name of the document, but I know seat is in the name, and I know it is a document, so I can go in and specify with all these items that are here. I can find everything, but I do want to specifically search for a document. That way it filters down what I'm finding. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to type in seat, and I'm going to execute the search. And when I do that, you can see the search results. So there is a seat FEA results. There is a car seat as far as a zip file, but that is an actual document. And then there's actually this bracket FEA result. Now, for me, actually what I'm looking for is the information for this bracket. But if you look at the name of this bracket, it has seat nowhere in it. If I go in and actually look at the file itself and its description, nowhere in it does it show seat as part of the name, but it still pulled it forward. Why? Because inside of Windchill, we have what is called index searching active. What that does is it doesn't only go in and search for the name of the file, it actually searches the content of the file to see if it finds that information. So if I go in and I open up that bracket FEA results, you can see that in the name of that, in the document, it has seat. So that is why that was found in my search results, because in the context of the actual document, it has the word seat in it. So that's once again one of the benefits. Now that I've found that document, it's not just the document that I need. I need to find the related objects to this document. So the way we have it set up is when you go into the information on that particular file, there is an option over here for related objects. I can come over here and select related objects. Now, looking down here once again, that document that we just looked at is associated with multiple WT part files. WT part files are like your collectors inside of Windchill that we'll go in and use for BOM structures, ERP integration, change management to go in and designate um, um, disposition of files that are changing, as well as being able to go in and specify when something is expired. Um, effectivity dates on all those things, we can go through and set those up inside of WT part files. But once again, the specific file that I'm looking for is going to be this actual bracket part. So I'm going to go directly into that part, WT part file. And once again, if I look in its details, it just simply shows me the information about it. It is just a single part object, so it won't have a structure. It does show related objects. So when I look at this WT parts related objects, you can see that that bracket document is sitting right there. It also shows a link to the overall owner's manual of this document as well. I'm sorry, of this assembly as well. And then if we look down a little bit further, it shows the actual CAD file that is associated with this part. So if I come over here now and I look at the CAD file, I'll come back to that in just a moment, I can see that file. So now it goes in and it shows what this file looks like. But if I want to see a little bit more detail to see if it has the information that I really want, I can now pull this file up into Creo view. So once again, I'm going in and I'm finding the document. In that document, I found the associated WT part, which takes me to the CAD file. Now I want to go through and validate that the CAD file that I'm looking at has the information that I want. So I can just simply select on that image, and what it does, it allows me to now log in to be able to open it up inside of Creo view. So initially it doesn't pull it up just because it shows multiple items here, but if I go in and specify I want to look at the body of it, there it is. Now right now, once again, it is just showing the body, but inside of this file, inside of Creo, it was designed and shown with model-based definition. What that means is the actual model itself has dimensions that are going to be shown not just through modification, but in as an alternate to actually creating a drawing. So if I come over here to viewables, I have several model-based definition views that I've gone through and specified. One of them is just simply the overall dimensions of this. Now, this is not a fully detailed out model because we don't need to. We just want to go through and show some critical information. And that's what we're doing from procurement, is to making sure that the information that is needed is actually shown in this model. So we can see there's the overall dimensions here. I can come over here. We saw that there are slots in the bottom. So if I go over here and I select on that bottom, it goes in and shows me dimensions for those slots. Sorry. And then I can come over here and say, okay, I want to see the dimensions for the upper slots, the ones in the back. And there they are. So without going into Creo, not only can purchasing and procurement look at this, but even manufacturing, when it's their time to go through and now make sure that things are in a proper location. They don't need Creo specifically. They can use Creo view here and still go through and validate that what they're looking at is appropriate, or the dimensions line up with the actual models themselves. So this is all I needed to see. I just needed to confirm that the dimensions that were designated in the model are also shown in the viewable that is associated with this file. Excellent. I can close this down now. No, I don't want to update anything. Great. So we know that this is appropriate. So that viewable exists here. Not only does that viewable exist, but if we had specified any additional file types to be published, those will also be available. So if I select here and I right click, there's an option in here for files, and you can see that when this file was published to create the viewable, it also created an IGES file and a step file, because some of our vendors may need this information as well. So we're able to now download those files and then send those to our vendors instead of going in and giving direct access to our parametric model. So that information is there as well inside of this CAD file. Now, for this CAD file, where is it used? If we go into related objects, you can see up here at the top that it shows that this bracket is used inside of this bracket seat, which is also used in this top level world car assembly. Now, what we're going to be looking at this point is more of a BOM, so bill of material. So instead of doing it directly from the CAD file, I'm going to go back into the WT part file because there's some other things that I want to show you associated with that as well. So I'm going to go back into this CAD file's WT part file and look at this exact same thing. But this one doesn't show it under related. There is an actual tab for where used. And you'll see the exact same structure that we just did in the CAD file, where we're looking at the bracket seat assembly, and that bracket seat assembly is used inside of this world car assembly. So what we're going to do is now we're going to look into this world car assembly. So I'm going to open up that. And then I'm going to go into its structure. So as you can see now, this structure now shows all of the different items that are associated with that. I can go in and expand any of these to see what they all look like. Now, this BOM structure is equal to what our CAD structure will be. So this is what we call a designed view. So it is basically based on the design, but that's not always the way that we need to go through and see these structures. These structures may also need to be shown specific for manufacturing. So what we're going to also look at is we're going to look at different, BOM structures based on, the need. So I'm going to go back into my folder, and then in this folder, I already have it filtered that it's going to go through and show me just the items that have world in them, which is of course that assembly. So we can see, and I'm going to filter this down to parts. And let's change that back to world. So now all I'm looking at are just the WT parts. I filtered out the CAD models because the only thing we're concerned with right now are the actual WT part structures. So if you look, there's the design one that I just showed you. Now there's also a manufacturing one, and there's also one that is called manufacturing cost. So let's first look at this manufacturing one. When we look at this structure, now instead of looking at everything that says design, you can now see that there are items that are manufacturing, and there are also some things in here that were not in our original structure. So you can see that now there's an item in here for sandpaper. There's actually a tool set. There's some touch-up spray, because these are the things that are needed on the manufacturing floor and not specifically as part of the design. So as we begin to look at the big picture, yes, the design of it is great, but we also need to go through and make sure that we're incorporating the things that are needed to put it together. And that's where these additional pieces come in. So we have parts that represent the manufacturing specific items. Now with that, we can also go through and specify some of the views that we have, and this is once again the planning view that we're doing for manufacturing. So we can see that yes, everything is released, and we can also specify or see the things that are actually going to be made versus the things that are going to be bought. So we can see that when we're ready to go through and send things out, where they need to go. So this is the manufacturing view. There is one additional view that is created, which is a costing view. So when we look at this one, we can also go through and add some additional information. So now we can go through and add component cost. So we can see based on you know, what we've put in our ERP system or what we've researched or what we've gotten for customers or vendors, we can go through and specify, okay, what something is going to cost. So this is just another way of displaying additional information. Now, what we will also see, and I'm going to show you, I actually have taken screenshots of the other two bombs just so we can actually see them a little bit at the same time. So this is the design bomb, and then we also have the manufacturing bomb. And what we will notice between them is that there are some differences in their structures. My apologies for the lining this up. Let's get that down there. Great. All right, so if we look at the design bomb, you can see it has the rear frame, the bracket, you know, this assembly here, the body concept, and then this secondary assembly down here. So it basically has 5 subcomponents. As soon as we come over to the manufacturing, you can see, yes, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, sorry. And then there's actually, instead of it being an individual, oh, it is an individual, sorry. You see the body concept part here, and then the additional items that are manufacturing specific. When we come over to the costing bomb, then it's also a little bit different. So yes, it still shows there's the 3 assemblies there, but what we're also looking at is the body concept part and the rear frame. Now, those are individual files when we're looking at the costing, because when we purchase them, we purchase this as one, we purchase that as one, versus when it's being made, it's going to be separated out to the individual items that are basically going to be put into it. And the same thing over here, our design, of course, incorporates individual items. So each one of these bombs can be a little bit different depending upon the need. So that's why purchasing and procurement, we can go through and not only have a design bomb, a manufacturing bomb, but we can also have a bomb that is specific to their needs. So we now go through and incorporate their structure appropriately, as well as adding any additional information that is necessary for those things to be purchased properly. So that's what we're looking at here. And then there's one other thing that I do want to show inside of here. So when we are looking at that bracket, we can see the individual items under here that make up that cost. So once again, we're looking at costing, we're looking at this material, and we're looking at, of course, the machine and setup, runtime, all of that to actually get it done. So all those different things are important when we're looking at, you know, overall purchasing, or even once again, procurement as a whole. So if I come back into here real quickly, and then I come back to, you know what, I'm just gonna go up here. When I wanna go into this bracket again. So there's one other area that I wanna go through and show you as well, is that with this bracket, whether we're talking manufacturing or we're talking purchasing, we can always go in and specify approved manufacturing or vendor lists. So we can come over here and specify a list of multiple vendors that either are on the approved list or basically on the not approved list. So we can go through and specify who is approved and who's not based on experience. So we may have used a vendor and that vendor did not, you know, give us what we wanted, so we put them on the basically do not use list. So we can go through and specify any of that. So I'll just show you real quickly. That's pretty simple to go in and do. I'm going to create a manufacturer and give it its name, and down here we just simply give it a status. Do not use them. They are approved to be used, or, you know, they basically are the preferred vendor for this particular item. If they can't do it, then we'll look at the approved list. But once again, the do not use areas where we can go through and specify these people we don't use because their quality is suspect. So all that information, once again, can be incorporated into our structures. But the other thing that I also want to go through and show you is everything that we have here. And let me go back to this one here. This information can then be exported. So it's not just locked into Windchill. We can also go through and take this same information and now export that into the appropriate format. If you are trying to import it into an ERP system, you know, there are ERP connectors that go directly from Windchill to to your ERP system. If it's just a list that you want, we can go through and specify the format that we want to go through and export this as, so you can import it into your system. So this information does not just stay locked into Windchill. We can export this to whatever format we need to once again be used in whatever other environment that we want to. All right, so once again, understand that everything that we've been looking at here has been simply the result of a search and finding a single document. So this is where we talk about kind of some of that digital thread, you know, weaving things together. We found a document. That document was associated to a WT part file that was not only associated to that document, but was also associated to the CAD file. And then because we were able to go through and go backwards from that part to its subassembly, from that subassembly to the top level assembly, that brings us all the way up to here. So once again, with purchasing and procurement, it's important that they find information. So searching is very important. And then once again, understanding some of the links to get to what you need is there. But once again, it's pretty straightforward. Once you find the document, from there, you can just go in and follow the links and find everything else that is needed. So at this point, if there are any questions, you may ask them. Okay, does not appear to be any questions. No one seems to be typing. So if you want any more information on anything that we've talked about, any of our digital thread topics, you know, to discuss digital thread within your company and how we can go through and make those links and the software to use those, definitely feel free to reach out. We also have, of course, training available if there's any modules that you want to go through and talk about, Windchill specific or even Creo specific. Any different areas, we can go through and conduct those trainings for you. We can do things virtually. We, of course, can do in-center at one of the training centers, or of course, we can come to you and go on site and do training as well. So we can go do custom training specifically for you. And if, as you're going through your day and you think of something you want to reach out, feel free to reach out to me. My email is mwimberly@pdsvision.us. You can also reach out to sales if it's a sales related question. It's sales@pdsvision.us. And once again, feel free to visit our website. Our website actually now is pdsvision.com, not US. But I think US will take you to the .com if you do put that in there. But it is .com now. And of course, as I mentioned before, this video, other digital thread videos, and other tons of videos that we've created over the past from webinars are on our YouTube page. So search PDS Vision on YouTube and you can find a lot of information. Once again, whether we're talking Windchill related, Creo related, or any other type of software that we support. So once again, thank you for your time and look forward to seeing you on the next webinar. Thank you.